What is going on, everyone? We are back with another review of Dragula from the Boulet brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
Hella Depraved.
And this episode is brought to you... No, I'm kidding. So this episode is based off of Season 2.
It'd be nice if we were sponsored by anything.
Episode 3, right?
Right.
Boulets. Come on. Not with all the shit talking I've done.
No, I think they'd actually appreciate us.
Maybe.
Because of that.
Maybe.
I mean, look.
At least we're strong in our convictions and they're not
Yeah, we have our
rude.
own opinions and we're not rude about it. So there's that. Well, I mean, you know, most of the time.
Unless it's about Boulet.
Well, I mean, there's been one per season so far.
Always.
And there's always gonna be.
Always.
Guys.
Sometimes we get lucky and they get eliminated quick. Sometimes they stick around for a while.
I think the Boulets do that on purpose, although I will say both Loris and Abora are very good artists. So there is that, and that is why they stuck around. But personality-wise, phew.
So this is Season 2, Episode 3, Drag Monsters of Rock, which, by the way, I almost messed up when prepping all of the cards. Because I kept typing in Rock Monsters of Drag.
That would be fun. That would be really fun. Like gargoyles and...
Right. You took the word Rock Monster too serious.
Look, are you calling me Victoria Black?
Maybe.
I'm being too literal?
Probably.
You know what? I'll take that as a compliment. She's badass.
It's a golem.
Exactly. Rock monsters. Mountain trolls, gargoyles, golems.
Although, I still would like a Drag Monsters of Rock to actually be monsters at some point, and people come in as werewolves and mummies and
that's the literal in him, and I think it would actually be fabulous. Like a whole band of like doing the monster mash, but not.
Yeah. Do the updated monster mash.
Oh god, that one's hilarious.
What
are they doing?
It's apparently not official.
Yeah, well,
should be. So, anyways,
it's not on any streaming platform other than YouTube, y'all.
We get an intro where the Boulets are arguing a lot amongst each other, but during their argument, they're using rock song titles. I don't know if you caught on to that. I would hope so. If I did.
I did.
Right.
Trust. All right.
We then get Drac ordering pizza in the most gay drag way.
Fair. Fair. And then
when I say that, I mean they don't even say they're ordering pizza. They're like, Drac is like, I want a large sausage.
Meat lovers.
For meat lovers. Be sure to bring it into the back. Like, it's very, very suggestive and fantastic. And the entire time, Swan's smiling and kind of almost laughing, but not quite.
She doesn't quite break.
And then they kill the driver. Probably after ravaging his body.
That's what they ordered. It was just like a hand that flew out. You know, it's too bony.
Right, it was foot, but a limb.
A limb.
So then we get the
Technically
intro.
speaking, that's not even a limb, but okay.
Right. Then we get the intro, and then the next thing. So the ladies meet up and are actually, I swear to God, it's like
totally civil.
Monique is gone.
Vibe's different.
And the entire vibe is different. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't eventually get catty again at all for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but it's...
But I swear, and the bad thing is, I don't even think Monique was initially one of the main problems. I think she eventually became a part of the problem. But it's just... But I feel like it's just... That's one less person for someone to bounce shit off of.
Well, plus you have to remember that the original problems were between James and Monique, and one-sidedly Abora and Biqtch Pudding.
Right.
And so it was causing the entire rest of the cast to have to navigate it, take sides, whatever. But, you know, this releases James from the pressure. Monique was starting to tick off a couple other people. Obviously, she had gone for Biqtch at that last one. That's why they had the matchup with the paintballs together.
Right.
But, like, it just takes another strong personality out of the mix. And, yeah, so they come together, and they're actually pretty civil to each other. It's good to see. It's good to see.
And there's not a whole lot that goes on. They talk a little bit about the competition.
The bruises.
And having
they
fun
show
with
their
shooting
war
each other.
wounds. Yeah, they still had bruises like on their legs and yeah.
And then the Boulet show up, Wizard of Oz style.
Yeah. I love it.
It was on a big screen.
Well, it was like
a head
voodooing priestess with the cauldron fire in front of them. So yeah.
So there's no actual intro Boulet look because there's just not much to show. It's literally just a headshot for both of them, which is the first time this season we've gotten that. It's definitely not the last time it happens in the series because that becomes more of a norm. What
you mean is that they're on screen versus in person, just for clarification. In the headshot, like they're probably wearing a hooded gown, so it's not. They looked fabulous, but it was just from here up.
But we do get told that this is Drag Monsters of Rock performance. Think 80s big hair, Kiss, War,
and shoot, they mentioned a third.
Is it Twisted Sister? I don't.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the exact. But
by the way, guys, my brain is like doing this thing where the key word to every sentence so far in the last 2 days is missing. Right. So if I pause and he has to fill in, I apologize.
They do go ahead and split the teams. Here's one of the things that I do find to be a bummer. They didn't tell us the teams until it was time for the teams to actually go against each other.
They told us the captains.
They told us
that's it.
They told us the lead technically captains, singers, which were Victoria Black and Biqtch Puddin. And they did Victoria Black because she was the best. Biqtch Puddin because she was the worst.
Well, the worst was eliminated.
Right.
But she was next in. Well, she was the drama, and therefore, yeah.
Now, what they do end up doing is, I'll go ahead and tell you the teams now. I was a little bummed because they just alluded to it, but not fully alluded to who was with who until it was time for the teams.
They kind of talked about how excited they were to be on a team together or whatnot, but that was it.
The teams that were together, you had Team The Fake, which was the name of their team, and that consisted of Victoria Black, James Majesty, Abora, and Kendra Onyx. And then you had PMS, which consisted of Biqtch Puddin, Disasterina, Dolly, and Erica.
And while he wasn't a big fan of the name because he just thought it was sort of like blasé, I appreciate that they're the Wish version of the Cramps. I do. I think that's cute. I mean, we're talking 80s punk rock, metal, and it's another throwback to one of the originators of sort of the brand of music look. I appreciate it.
Okay.
He's like, still.
I would have preferred to play on like the Kiss. Kill. They could have been Kill before Kill was a
Nah.
Was a Merkins thing.
No. That's bland. It's blasé. Don't like it. I mean, you got to be a little bit more vengeful with your statement. It can't just be Kill. It's got to be like, Death Wish.
Right.
Would have been good.
All right. So the boudoir. Again, everyone was actually really kind and cordial to each other.
I was so proud of the girls. Like Erica, the maturity between it was just beautiful to see.
Erica straight up told Biqtch, she was like, "Hey, I didn't appreciate you throwing me under the bus." And Biqtch was like, "I wasn't really intending to throw you under the bus. It was you were in the bottom the week before, you were in the bottom this time." And Erica was like, "I wasn't in the bottom, you were in the bottom." And then I wanted to jump in and be like, "You all were in the bottom.
You were.
If you weren't one of the top 3, you were in the bottom."
No, but Erica was one of the bottom 3, fair enough, from the last episode, and then was in the bottom. So again, yeah, it was a miscommunication. What it was. Biqtch was like, "Hey, it wasn't personal. It was logic." But then Erica responds with, "Doesn't matter what you think you did. This is how I felt." Fair and square.
And then Erica was honest and was like, "I'm not going to back anybody else in the competition. I'm just going to do me."
Yeah.
But there was a competition. It wasn't an argument. It was very calm, talking. And everybody cracked a joke about the possibility of like if they'd have had Biqtch working with Abora, which was hilarious.
But it was great because Erica was like, "Hey, but this is perfect timing for me to get some aggression out on you because we are doing metal and let's have fun."
I have been home.
Yeah.
For 2.5 hours.
No, we start recording and the litter box is used.
It's
yeah. It's a protest, is what it is. It's a
they can
toxic protest.
Foot into their face is what's going to happen. Make them smell my stinky feet. They'd probably like it.
They stick their head in your shoes already. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
They're weird cats. We love them.
No, they're cats.
So we have been talking about this since the last MJ look. And
God,
we have talked about how much we love this look. So...
Oh, I will say, in the very beginning scene, they had the fabulous blue wigs that I just wish had been a full...
look.
I mean, it was a look. They were serving a look, but you never see them from, like, waist up, unfortunately. But this look is...
So, for time for the actual stage show, the Boulets come out in one of my favorite overall looks of the entire series.
Ever. I'll agree with you on that.
Boom!
Vampiric.
We get the vampire MJ outfits.
And they match their hair to the blood and the lips, and it's fab.
It is. It is the only look we have. I know it says part 1, but there's only one. But yeah, really, really love this outfit. Love this look. I mean, obviously, MJ fan, huge MJ fan, and it literally is the exact same. So it's the same outfit as the original MJ look. Michael Jackson, for those of you that are wondering who I'm talking about, I would hope most of you would know.
Yeah.
From the past season, they took it, they flipped swans to actually make it look like they're facing inward towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the design was flipped, and then they turned them into vampires. And I love that they took their hair, made it match the lips and the pupil colors of the outfit.
Again, it's fantastic. It's a full look and one of our favorites overall. Very
well put together. We then get introduced to our guest judges. There are 2 this go around. The first one is Michael Schmidt, and I'm pretty sure this is his first time being a judge. Michael Schmidt is a celeb fashion designer. I don't know who he designs fashion for.
I'm here for it.
I want to say I think they had mentioned Lady Gaga.
I'm here for it. Just no meat dress, please.
And if that would have been funny if he was the meat dress one.
You know that it's been dried. It's like a jerky dress now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in one of the museums of fashion, like greatest fashion moments or something. But that's still gross.
And then we get returning guest judge Magnus Hastings, and Magnus Hastings is a drag photographer. I'm pretty sure Magnus is the one that was the judge, if I remember correctly, for the water episode.
I believe so. From last season.
Not the water episode. I'm sorry.
No.
Because that was actually... I think he was the photographer for the water episode, but he wasn't the judge for that one. The judge for that one was Peaches, and...
He's in one of the first couple episodes of the first season.
Yeah, he's in the first season for sure, but it's his return. All right, so... next up... they first do the floor show before they actually do the band competition.
This was a 2-parter. This was the ladies had to design their own look based on the concept. And then when they did their performance, which was a lip sync, they had to have a team unified look. So the first one was the catwalk, which was the individual looks.
And per the norm, as I tried to do, other than I didn't get a chance to do it during our first episode, I tried to put them in the order that they're revealed on screen. So first and foremost, we start with Biqtch Puddin.
God, she looks fabulous.
Who's rocking, honestly, one of my favorite looks of hers for the season.
Oh, this is just, it's a fabulous look. I mean, she went with the big hair, but 80s glam, but also a metal look, because there's, like, spikes on her epaulettes and, like, the corseted waspy waist, and she really looked good. Yep. Yeah.
After her was Disasterina, who came out with the more Guar-focused look.
She killed it.
Disasterina is so fantastic.
She killed it, and she did not stumble around on stage in this look. Like she really.
Then we get Dali, who came out with the metal bird, which is very
mechanical
steampunk.
Animals. Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Absolutely.
And stilettos, girl. Let me tell you, I could not work those.
Kendra with the webbed headpiece and the
like Spider Queen sort of glam look.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up is Erica Clash, who's rocking a very Kill Bill-esque.
Now, I pointed this out to him, pulled up the picture. She looks like Go-Go to me. Like, I feel like that's kind of what it was based on, because Go-Go always has, like, the mace, or she's swinging around her katana, but she's got the plaid schoolgirl outfit with the sweater, and then she has her hair down. So that's what she reminded me of.
And also, I feel like there's like one of these season 2 reminds me a lot of Harley Quinn in her color choices.
You could go with some of like the baby metal type ideas as well, although they tend to be a bit more goth looking than anime looking. But yeah.
And then we get a Bora. That's not a Bora.
That's not.
That's a Bora though. Next up is a Bora who comes out. Now you can't get a very, very good look based off of this picture, but she absolutely is on stilts.
Right.
So mad props for being able to even do that.
Which I don't understand, because Abora is actually known for being a mess on the catwalk in terms of like falling, stumbling. How? She did a really good job on stilts. Like, does she just not do well on her own 2 feet? Because, I mean, like, that's fine. I don't do well on my 2 feet, and I don't put on stilts even.
Right.
But, like, yeah, it was a very circus tent-esque, Tim Burton, like, the Wicked shoulder pad angles. Very fashion-forward, but yeah.
And then Victoria Black.
With her ringmaster sort of take.
I very much called it a David Bowie look.
I think it looks more Alice Cooper-y, but like subtle. Right. I mean, honestly, this violet hair is everything to me. Like, I love that she did that, but yeah.
And lastly, sorry guys, I just got out of work. Lastly, James Majesty.
But you can call me Your Majesty.
For sure.
She looked great. Now, again, it was way more skin showing, way more almost simplistic in its look, but she did a killer job. She had the disco ball up there that she took a saw through. I'm so glad she wore safety goggles. But like destroying disco because it's a metal concert, like it was a cool show.
And then so that was their looks, and then they did the actual rock challenge where they both lip sync and band synced. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
it's, They pretended to play instruments and
I
want to
say
sing.
all of the girls lip synced too, because there were parts where it's sort of like the chorus joins in backup singers and everything. Right. But yeah, they all had to participate as though they were the band.
So the fake were the first ones up, and it looked like they were all rocking a very much almost punk rock look instead of being.
And
thrash rock? I don't know what you'd consider kissing them. Definitely not thrash.
I mean, they're
classic rock.
They're hair metal.
Hair metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 80s. It's 80s. They are considered rock. They're just
they're definitely considered rock. But I'm trying to think of. There's got to be like an actual classification for.
There is.
Like Kiss and Gwar and the people that dress up very.
Here, I'll look it up because my brain's not giving me. Like, guys, sorry. I live on rock and I live on metal.
To me, everything's just rock, and you either like certain rock bands or others.
Yeah. Okay, they're just considered. That's Kiss, and it looks like glam rock.
Okay.
Shock rock.
Shock rock, I think, is what I was going
metal.
for.
I think with Gwar in the mix is what you're looking for, but I would say that they're all a mix of shock and glam because it was the 80s, and so they. Went all out with the men in tight tights.
The fake had a pretty good performance. It wasn't bad. It didn't have a whole lot to go into it. There was a cool moment where somebody's tongue gets ripped off. They do start. Cool. Actually, one of the coolest things is
how they start.
They start with Boar's on stilts again. Except Abora is wearing this like see-through dress that almost looks like a tent.
All of them were wearing versions of clear vinyl with electric colors, so they looked like they were tasting the rainbow. They looked like Skittles.
Right.
But yeah, so you can see them gathered underneath her tent, but they all come out.
And when they all come out, they've all got strings attached to them from the tent, which makes it almost look like they're marionettes.
She's the
and
puppet master.
Is the puppet master. Now, Abora was just playing a guitar player. It was playing guitar as well, but...
Or was she was playing bass. Kendra was guitar. Sorry.
And then, near the end, I want to say, I think it was Victoria cuts out...
it was the drummer.
Which one was it James? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria cuts out James' tongue.
Which is just cool, but unfortunately, it's a small gag on a large stage, and James was the drummer, and so therefore Victoria had to go behind the drums to do this. And I feel like it actually took me several watch-throughs to even notice that had happened. I knew she went back there for some reason, but I hadn't put it together until our last watch-through last night, and I was like, oh wait, that's her tongue. That's cool. Hadn't seen it before. So if it was lost on me that many times, because this is probably the 4th or 5th time I've seen that episode, it's not great for a stage show if it's not put on the screen behind you, broadcast for the audience. So cool, but not cool. And the strings were a really neat idea, except for they were kind of getting caught up in them, and they were
more in the way than cool.
And Abora didn't do anything with them in terms of making it apparent she was yanking on them, or they were just there. Yeah. And Victoria did a pretty good job, I think, but you could tell a couple times the words weren't on time exactly or whatnot, but I didn't see too many slip-ups. Of course,
we don't see everything. We don't get to see the entire performance. Now, the next one was PMS comes out to perform, and again, they kill it. They do a great job. And there's just a lot more that goes into it. It actually felt like there was a lot more cohesiveness.
They were a band.
They were working together on everything.
I 100% would have believed that was the PMS girls, Biqtch, Puddin singing, and them backing her up. I would have believed it.
They did a lot of really fun gags where there's one point where Erica's beating up on Biqtch.
She took the aggression out. Dolly shakes up a beer, squirts it on Biqtch. They end the whole set putting one of the drums straight over Biqtch's head. But they were all of them were so involved. And I feel like there was maybe some slight unfairness in the division, not because of personalities. I think they were split the way they needed to be. But Dolly was in a band before. I didn't know this until last night, but when Disasterina was performing in this season, she was 51 years old. She's got experience.
Yeah.
And then you've got Biqtch that I know has stage presence and experience prior to this. And Erica looked like she was a drummer. I would have believed it.
Yeah, but
I mean, her little was hilarious.
Onyx is a performance queen. She had it down.
Trust.
So,
I mean, I would believe her normally, but that was not the night.
No. They do the deliberation, which there's not much to talk about. They don't really say anything that we weren't already saying about things to begin with.
They all said, the fake did well, but PMS was 100% believable.
And the judgment goes to PMS, which means all of them are safe.
Also, their outfits were killer as a unit. They struck the rock metal, still 80s with big hair and stuff, chord in black and yellow. It was perfect.
So PMS wins. They have the fake go to the back so that they can speak to the PMS. They just talk to everybody. I got all the way up to this point, and it was actually right before the performance, before I was like, I might not actually have a quote for this week. And then I got one. Disasterina says, and I quote, "I loved our togetherness, and I loved hitting Biqtch over the head with a bottle."
Who wouldn't? And who wouldn't?
That's my quote of the week.
Disasterina often has quotable things. She says some whack, wonderful stuff.
She does. And Biqtch wins the actual challenge. And one of the things that I love that they did, I loved how they actually praised Biqtch, because they told her specifically, they made her the lead singer to test her and see if she's either going to sink or swim. Because of everything that had happened the week before and how she was basically kind of just down about how everyone was treating her.
Well, part of it was that she had been so ostracized that they were wondering if she could put that behind her and perform as a unit, because that's the important part. And obviously a test run for when they're on the road taking the show? Can they work as a unit even if people on the team aren't on the same page, don't like each other, have an argument?
And again, they knocked it out the park. You would not have been able to tell from that performance that they ever had issues with each other.
No.
You just wouldn't have.
No. Or honestly, that they were lip syncing.
Right.
Or, not a band. Plus, Biqtch's runway look was killer. Like, she hit every thing that the Boulets had asked, and was one of the only women, even though it was stated in the concept, like, here's your idea, here's what we need you to do this week. Big hair. Even though it was mentioned, she's one of the only ones that walked out with big hair.
Yep. I mean, even looking over at the pictures that we had, I think there's 3 people, maybe 4 that have big hair. Maybe 4. I would count. I only say maybe because I can't tell from Abora, because Abora's is.
Yeah, well, I would have counted James. I would have counted Biqtch, Disasterina, and of course Dolly had metal hair, so that counts in my book. I know that Abora had a side mohawk, but I'm not sure that I would. She just wasn't close enough. And then Erica went with a lot of hair, but there's a difference between a lot of hair and the 80s tees big hair. Right. So yeah, if you know, you know.
So PMS goes into the back, and out comes
the fake.
And this is one of the very, 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 very few times I have ever and probably will ever be slightly disappointed in Victoria.
Yeah, normally she's actually mellow.
Now, I want you guys to understand something. I can also definitely understand Victoria's stance at this point, because up until this point, she's felt very overlooked. And I say that even with her win the week before, there wasn't a whole lot of talk overall about how great she did. I actually probably heard more compliments for other people than her. It was like, you did the best, though. Here's your win. And that was...
Except for Kitty. Kitty was pretty expressive about how amazing and dangerous and everything. But, again, Victoria has done so well in taking things literally and to the limit that now keep in mind.
Well, she won last week and got critiqued.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they had mentioned is they still don't really know who Victoria Black is, even though, as we come to find out, that is Victoria Black. She's
just that good.
She's a cinematic.
Yeah, guru.
It's I mean, she's a special effects makeup artist.
I wouldn't be surprised if I found out she attended Tom Savini's school.
Right.
Honestly, like, she's that good. But on top of it, like, that's not the part that really irritated us. Her saying that this is how she conceptualized her outfit. That's not the part.
But they're going over and they talk to her, and before they even really get started, they do start with Victoria, but Victoria is very quick to come out and be like, yeah, I had a really hard time finding the lyrics so that I was able to memorize them well, and they're really not posted anywhere. And at that point, Swan immediately jumps in and says, hey, I gotta call you on that. Because Biqtch came out and knocked it out the park.
Nailed it. And if she can find it,
and if she can do it, you can do it.
And that's the part that we were kind of like, ooh, Victoria, why?
I am one of those people, and I've always been this way. I hate excuses. Anytime something goes wrong, I don't want excuses.
I want you to fix the problem.
I'm okay with your reason, but fix it.
Yeah.
If she would have just came out and been like, I had a hard time finding the lyrics, I'm sure I could have found them if I kept going at it, but...
Or, I had a really hard time finding the lyrics. I probably should have asked someone to help me. Right. And on top of it, I have a real fear of being central in a stage performance, which we do find out she does.
Right.
She's very, very introverted and very shy. So it's understandable that lip sync challenges...
Way, weird to me for drag queens, because
lip syncing is something like different, I suppose. Like, when she comes out and she can just be the creature that she designed, that's one thing. But if she's got to take somebody else's lyrics and memorize them, it's easier to forget the lyrics mid-performance. You know what I mean? It's kind of like acting. A lot of people don't want to have to memorize lines because when they get stage fright, it all goes out of their head, kind of thing. So, but no. So the only thing that we were kind of like, oh, Victoria, we don't agree with you, is the excuse right off the bat, because she did just jump on that. Right. But yeah, they tell her that this week's look, her personal look, was just kind of neither here nor there, and she was like, I was trying to show the softer side of me because you guys haven't, like, you said you wanted to see who I was and not like all of these characters that I designed. So I was trying not to add extra elements, and you know, it just came out sort of like this ringmaster sort of, I wish she had done big shoulder pads, or like there's some things that we were talking about later that she could have just added to this look, like a cane that doubled as a microphone stand or something that would have made this ringleader look, because I love the top hat, I love the color of the hair, the big jeweled necklace, and the pants and everything down. And it's just, I think the bareness of her arms and everything just sort of lends itself to being kind of a meh look.
A lot of the group's complaint, which we were getting hints of throughout the episode, we just haven't brought them up yet, is Kendra was not showing up for practices. She would either be 4 to 6 hours late to practice,
or not there at all,
or not show up at all. And there was even once where Kendra, during one of the backstage interview sessions that they do after the season's over, she even comes out and says, "Hey, I'm a performer. Don't worry about me. I got this."
Yeah, but so we never find out.
Being a solo performer
is different
than working with a group.
And unfortunately for us, I mean, it's her own personal business. It is. But we never find out why she was having problems. But I will say that for a show that wants to go on the road, like Dragula just in general, people that have scheduling conflicts to that degree, that's kind of worrisome.
Right. So we come to find out, so they do talk to, who was James. It was James Majesty was the first one that they talked to. They had basically told her that the team held her down, that she was perfectly fine. Her performance was good.
Her individual look was
Mm-hmm. And the only reason she's standing there currently is because the team failed.
Because she's on that team.
So they let her pass. So they let her go in the back. Bora came up, and they basically told her that they loved the look.
It's very fashion forward, but it's not.
But this did not strike them as Rock Monster. They were like, we don't know what you were doing.
We don't know what this is. It's cool, but it's not this. Yeah.
But they went ahead and let her go back, and she gave this really weird and creepy laugh and then ran off.
Right.
And
which I took as, yay me, fuck the team.
Right. And then elimination-wise, here's the thing. As much as I don't think they're the two worst looks even on the team, I feel like the two people that were chosen were the right two people to be chosen to be up for elimination.
Yeah. You
have to go with Victoria because she was the leader.
Yeah. And it was her failing in finding the lyrics.
Right. And then you have to go with Kendra because if you're doing a team project and nobody shows up, or you don't show up to help the team and get better with the team, that's on you.
Also, they did not feel that her Spider Queen look was even remotely
rock related.
I mean, Swan was like, I live for this kind of look. I love this look. But you're like a Spider Queen for Halloween celebration, or you're nothing to do with metal, rock, 80s, anything.
Right. So Victoria and Kendra are up for extermination.
And to go along with the trash metal theme,
they have to get tattoos.
They have to get the trashiest.
The trashiest tattoos.
And they're both virgins.
Yeah, neither one of them have ever had tattoos before. I think it was a good time for both of them to be in the bottom.
Oh, I think it was awesome. I love watching tattoo virgins get their cherries popped. It's fun.
A lot of the time... Well, here's what's funny, though. So, Kendra was freaking out a lot. She was like, ow, it's
she was like, I'm not ready. Oh, wait, no, what? Are you done? Are you done? You have to be done.
And Victoria, honestly, was just sitting there.
Fun part.
Victoria was just sitting there having a casual conversation, like it didn't even bother her.
Victoria was like, "Yeah, I wonder what my boyfriend's gonna think of this. I don't really like the feel of this. It's not. It's that's a little." But she's like lying on her stomach, just like, which, by the way, is what I do.
I believe it.
I crack up the tattoo artist. They've had to take breaks before so that they don't fuck up my tattoo. Look, it's how I deal with my trauma. Okay, my trauma made me funny.
Right. I find you funny, even with or without your trauma, baby. So, what ends up happening is Kendra is then eliminated. She gets a postcard on her card filled with powder.
You won.
That says something along the lines of like you won, and then she opens it up and powder flips her in the face, which I can only guess is supposed to be like anthrax or something.
Yeah, well, okay, but I should point out
a far more toxic version.
The goal was to get the trashiest tattoo, right? Well, the tattoo artist actually fucked up Victoria's. Let's just point out, because it's supposed to say Dragula slut, and they wrote slut Dragula, whatever. So that's trashy enough, and it was on her hiney. And then Kendra decided to get, it's a lipstick tube, and then under it says Dragula, and it's like on her thigh, I think, but like a lipstick tube, honey, for a trashy tattoo. I mean, I know you were trying to be like classy and not, but the goal, like, for the elimination challenge was who was willing to get the trashiest tattoo. Personally, I'd get the lipstick tube with Dragula as a token of being there, but teach their own.
But yeah, so Kendra gets eliminated, which I do think is the right choice for this specific thing.
Which is, I like.
It's a bummer because I love Kendra.
Yeah, both of us really like Kendra, so we were sad to see her go. And she did have a point while she was getting tattooed that, you know, for her being a black woman, military, the whole 9 yards, it was a big deal for her to be on the show and to show other people in her sort of group. Guys, this is the word loss that I'm talking about. That it was possible and to represent them. So again, I am sad to see her go, but I am glad that Dragula constantly calls people of color, you know, just different. I like the difference. Yeah.
And yeah, that's the end of the actual episode.
On to our rankings.
No, that's not the right mouse. All right. Ranking
Whatever shall we do?
As you can see, we're sitting there with Felony and Monique.
Dead and gone. So soon.
Been eliminated. I kind of wish. Now, here's the thing. I don't do this because I just don't want to have to do extra cards for everyone. I kind of wish, and I might start doing this with next season now that I've thought about it. Start using their actual death scenes as the pictures for the cards.
Fabulous.
When they die.
I mean, like, it's cool that you're using the card that they died for the look.
So that you know what got them
killed. But I think maybe, like, put that one in like my ranking top, and then what they looked like when they died. That would be fabulous. Anyway.
Right.
We digress like normal.
So, I believe, as far as that's Felony, that's not what I meant to do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it is you that starts it off. Not that the first one matters.
Yeah, okay. So, Circus Tent is my number 8. That would be Abhora.
That is also my number 8.
I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what... I mean, like, it's very Burton-esque. It's very... I mean, they said fashion forward, and I suppose that is a word for it, but it has no place in 80s metal rock competition.
I want you guys to understand something. When I do my rankings for the actual episodes, specific episodes, I rank with about a 90% scale towards did you follow the directions.
Yeah.
There's some room for error within that scale for sure.
Yeah. And I try.
But
I might be a little bit more subjective, but
If there is one person I felt was one of the very few people that just did not follow directions. There's two people I feel that did not follow directions.
And that's why I was sort of pausing.
Two people specifically, and they're both of our final two.
Yeah.
Even our next one after that, our bottom three are the same bottom three. But I didn't think that the third one down was as bad as the others.
Yeah.
But
it's because they didn't follow directions. It's not because we don't personally like the look.
And I'm telling you right now, this specific Abora look, I actually like more than most of the rest of the looks within this specific episode. I love this look.
And I don't agree. But that's where, that's fine. That's totally fine.
It's just
personal
not
preference.
A rock look.
Right.
It would be great for circus tent mustard.
Like if they did Circus Freaks.
Right.
Or, if they did... Now, again, I do think the stilt look and everything it's a cool idea. And if she had taken it to another level, instead of just the Burton black and white stripes and the faux hawk, it needed something that designated her in the rock metal 80s genre, and there is nothing about this that says 80s, that says I play in a band. I feel like if she had added elements that at least let you know what this competition was. Right. So that's why she's bottom for me.
All right, my number 7, which is the same as your number 7, is Kendra.
Yeah.
Kendra, again, is just one of those looks that...
It's a gorgeous look, but it doesn't have a place here.
But it's not a rock look.
I mean, it's a great Spider Queen look. She could have even used this for, one of the witch looks. If she had added some elements to it, it would... I mean, yeah.
Now, here's the difference and why she's just a step up above Abora. Do I think Abora could rock that look on a rock stage? Yes, but not as an actual rock star. She could be background for, Rob Zombie.
She'd have to be the background prop. She couldn't even be a dancer necessarily because she would sway too much.
If you want to see Rob Zombie live, or you want to see
Korn,
the guy that sings the song Frankenstein live, his name is Alice Cooper. Thank you.
Yeah.
I could see Abora being a prop in that setting.
Yeah.
I can at least see somebody dressed up as Kendra
actually performing in the band. Yeah.
But it still isn't very much an 80s look.
No. And it would have to be a very specific themed
Actually, I was
album.
Wrong. Our number 6 is different.
Okay.
All right. That leaves you with your number 6.
Which was Erica. And again, I thought she looked really cute. I like that I associate this with Go-Go. I don't know if she did or not. But I feel like this is more present. I mean, maybe 90s and above, because you could potentially get some 90s out of the plaid that she's wearing and everything. But with the split dye and so on and so forth, split dyes weren't really present until the 2000s. It's not an 80s look. I kind of wish, when they do the group challenge, she has an afro. I wish she had gone with something like that. I mean, group challenge, she did black and white pixelated face, which looked amazing. I wish she had done that. There were so many elements to her group costume design that were spot on perfect. And this personal one just... It's just screaming present day, Japan rock, or it's unfortunate. She's a cutie.
So my number 6 is James Majesty.
Huh.
When the Boulets laid out the initial challenge, the 3 bands they mentioned are Kiss, Gwar, and Twisted Sister.
Right.
I am definitely heavily favoring way more of the Gwar Kiss look than Twisted Sister.
Right.
This is boring as hell to me.
Right.
Now here's the thing. I am pretty sure I have Erica as my number 5, and the only reason I have Erica up slightly higher than James is I find James's look that boring.
Oh, okay.
I have them roughly neck and neck with each other. I don't like her look. I actually do like Erica's look, but you're right. It's a little less 80s, but for me, it's way more Guar-ish or Kiss-ish. She at least has her face painted, and
I don't know.
Has a wild look.
I liked obviously, but yeah, okay. I mean, I could see. That's fine.
Don't worry, guys. James isn't the only. Here's the thing. I think they all look fantastic, and other than the bottom 2, I think everyone actually at least follows.
They tried, yeah. They
follows the formula of what's supposed to be done,
and does it their drag style.
But I do find most of the people's outfits in this to be boring. There's
which is
like
unfortunate.
3 that I like.
That's unfortunate. Okay. On to the next screen.
Next. So my number 5 is Erica.
Right. Makes sense.
Which I just mentioned.
Right.
Again, her and James could have been neck and neck for me. I just happen to like Erica's a little bit more.
Yeah. That's just personal choice. Yeah. Okay.
Your number 5.
My number 5 is Victoria. And again, guys, I love this look. I really do. I think she looks stunning with this violet hair. I love that the violet matches the violet in the big crystals around her neck. I love the top hat and everything from the waist down. I really feel like even with this vest, she could have done more. Like, and I get what she was trying to say to the Boulet brothers, which is honestly just a misunderstanding between the 3 of them, because they aren't really clarifying what they mean when they say, we don't know who Victoria Black is, and she's left to try and interpret that based on their criticisms from the past events. And here she was trying to go without, special effects, without adding on, all of her prosthetics or whatnot, and just kind of scale it back down to her personally. But I think she took it a little too far, because 80s metal, maybe if she had had some wristbands or the gloves, the leather gloves, the fingerless ones, or she needed big shoulders on her vest, or there were other things that could have been done. I personally would have loved to see the cane that doubled as a mic stand. I don't know, but overall, it's not terrible, but just like you were saying about your personal opinion of James Majesty, I found it boring. I'm sad. Big sad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I found it boring too. But that's not my number 4 either.
So might
have been.
My number 4.
Yeah, I think Victoria ends up being my number 4.
Is Disasterina. I love this look. I mean, there's not much more to say about that.
I say from this point on, it's just a fan of what's left.
Yeah, I really honestly feel like the top 3, maybe top 2 for me are interchangeable to a degree. 3 and 4 for me are also interchangeable. So, but I just happen to like what we see of their personal stage show better, and also was judging it kind of based on the team event as well. So,
all right, my number 4 is Victoria for all the same reasons. It's just she looks fantastic. Boring as hell though.
Yeah.
For this event.
This is the 80s hair metal, whatever you glam metal, rock, whatever. It was a time of excess, and I feel like this is the perfect timing for them all to go absolutely hog wild with their looks, and so few of them did it.
What worries me about this, and here's what I want you guys to understand. I'm not by any means saying to ever take the Boulet's critiques lightly. They're doing what they can to help everyone. But I feel like so many people end up getting lost in the critiques themselves that they forget who they are because they're trying to be somebody else.
Right.
And that's not what the Boulets are looking for. They're giving you tips to enhance your overall look. You still got to find ways to apply that to yourself.
But your own drag.
It's still being yourself.
Yeah.
So in this situation, again, I wish Victoria would have followed whatever her initial plan and her heart was telling her to do.
Yeah.
Follow that, take their critiques, and just try to find a way to make that fit within your look. But again, this falls back on, I also don't feel like Victoria has had necessarily a fair shake throughout the beginning of this. So. Because she has been herself. Herself is a very high SFX look, and that is her.
And that's where I think all of this miscommunication is happening, is that's why she does not understand what they're saying, and they don't understand why she's not getting it.
And it's easy to, as you look across the seasons as they happen, to look back and say, people like Abora, who just have that thing about them that you know it's them. People like Yovska, who just have that thing about them that you know it's them. Dali, who develops that look that you know it's them, and they incorporate it into everything. Some people are never going to have that. And she's one of them, because that is the high-grade special effects and making herself just look over the top crazy.
And she's elegant. I mean, like, you can tell her movements and her poise and everything. She's very elegant.
Right.
So when she comes out as, like, Victorian ladies, like, looking like they're going to haunt your castle, that is Victoria. 100%. Yep. She's a very classy lady, and we love her for it. But
obviously, we gush over her all the time.
Yes.
She's been our number one for 2 weeks straight. It actually hurts to have her down this low. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm in my feels about it for sure.
My number 3 is Dali. Now, here's the thing. My top 3 are all interchangeable. Within small degrees of each other.
Right.
I don't even know. The only reason I have Dali down this far, I feel, is I just love the other two looks just that much more.
They just edged it out.
That much more. I love Dali's look here.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite Dali looks for this specific season.
This look is what harkens to the Dali that we all know and love now.
Yes.
It's her very steampunk, gender bending sort of, I mean, it's fascinating. Just how she uses products. Like, I never would have thought of making myself like a spiked mohawk and mechanical looking wings, but it fits so perfectly, and it is 100% the Dali we know. Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, your number 3
was James Majesty. I loved her look. I really did, and I feel like she hit the nail on the head with big hair, leather, but glam. And of course, James doesn't lose herself. She knows she is glam and she is sex, and that's what she's here for. I like the details, like even little flecks of the mirrors on the disco ball that she has underneath her eyes in the shape of diamonds. The diamonds would have worked perfectly for just the 80s look in general, but the fact that they are also the disco ball that she destroys on stage is great. She would have placed under Disasterina for me had it not been for the fantastic stage show of destroying said disco ball and so on. So that's why I say interchangeable. Like, really, all 4 of these top looks are so fantastic. Also, James was on the losing team, so that's why she placed a little lower for me.
Also, you mean a little higher?
Well, lower than the other 2, the top 2. Yeah.
I also am noticing a trend with what I like and what I don't like. I am actually not an 80s hairband fan. I mean, do not get me wrong. I do have 1 or 2 bands that I love. You don't like big hair, you mean? It's not even the big hair that bothers me. Okay. But I watch Dragula for the monster side of things. Right. And I'm looking for monsters.
Which is why you want the monsters of rock. Like the literal monsters of rock.
I like, don't get me wrong, it's fun to have the weeks that are off here and there that are like, oh, this is basic bitch week. And it's like, okay, basic bitch is cool. but I'm here.
I want the
I'm
monsters.
here for the Hellraiser references and the ghost beach party.
Oh, that was great. The vampire
beach party. Things like that, right? That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. That's hilarious. All right.
So, your number 2
is Dolly. Again, 1 and 2 are pretty interchangeable for me. I adore this look. Dolly nailed everything for me, including a thigh-high, stiletto, lace-up boots. Just crazy girl. Crazy. And I know that I refer to Dolly as a lady in this particular season. I know that at this point they are a they, them, he, but they were presenting femme in this season. And I feel like a lot of soul searching, I think Dolly even mentions that a lot of soul searching went into the time period between this season and her return. And there is a difference in the looks. But this is close. This is very, very, very close to what Dolly ends up being, or, views themselves as. And I adore this look. Again, it's something that I wouldn't have thought of, like 80s music, and all of a sudden you're thinking mechanical wings.
Right.
On stilettos. Oh, you have stones so much larger than anybody I know. Just saying.
My number 2 is Biqtch Puddin. And again, the top 3 could have been pretty much interchangeable within
reason.
Just small degrees of separation between them for me. She definitely leaned more into the glam than the monstrous side, like the other 2 that are in the top 3. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why I have her at number 2 for me. But she did enough. Like, I love the almost steampunk-esque eye patch that she's got going on.
Yeah, it wasn't just an eye patch. It had like a spectacle, almost what is it? Like a telescope, kind of little bit.
Like a lens monocle.
Yeah. Monocle. Because that's just You guys know what I mean. If you know, you know.
Right.
It was really cool.
I loved the outfit. The tassels coming down off the arm looked really cool. It actually gave me some Macho Man Randy Savage vibes. But no, I thoroughly loved the look. This is, again,
she nailed it.
Nailed the performance, especially even during the rock thing. Not that had any bearing on my decisions here specifically.
I would have paid to go see that band. Right. Not for the music, by the way, because I wasn't like it wasn't horrible. I just wasn't a huge fan of the song that they sang. But
my number 1 is Disasterina. This was most of what I was looking for out of this competition.
It's an amazing. It's monstrous lady of
It leans more into Guar than anything else.
She gave us hair. She gave us shoulders. She gave us horns. She gave us stilettos.
Everything I wanted in all of the characters that were on the stage. Combined. Like, this is what I was looking for.
She gave us leather chains. I mean, everything.
I absolutely laughed, by the way. If you notice my top 5, 4 of them were in PMS. I didn't even realize it. I know,
but I swear.
I didn't even plan it that way.
But I feel like they also embodied sort of the idea of this particular competition better.
Right. And even here's the thing, we didn't show you guys pictures of
their team
as a group, but they actually had the Kiss look down spectacular.
Oh, they look so good.
Like, even Erica took the nerdy side of her and had the almost 8-bit design around her eyes and mouth. That's what I was saying
when I pulled her up for my number 6 or something. Like, I was like, I wish she had stuck with the pixelated look from that, and her afro that she did for that, the group look, and I mean, yeah. So that leaves.
But yeah, so Disasterina is my number 1.
That leaves my number 1 as Biqtch Puddin. And I love me some Biqtch Puddin. I just do. And again, for this competition, she embodied absolutely everything that the Boulet brothers asked for. Plus, she brought the attitude. Plus, she absolutely fucking slayed the lip sync competition. And with all of the contention that was going on in her group prior to this episode, pulled it together. And it wasn't just her. I'm not saying it was just her. They all put it aside and gave us a killer performance. She memorized those lyrics down to probably her last breath. I mean, everything was just so well done. And this look is everything that I imagined when they were talking. She's got the upside down cross earrings. She looks trashy, but glam, but fabulous. But, you know, she's got that slim waistline. But then she's got the large, like, you know, obviously the fringe and everything lead to looking like large shoulders, chains, and then that eye patch. And of course, one of the judges said that she was doing an ode to Pete Burns. And I have heard his name. And of course, when I looked it up and I realized that he did the You Spin Me Right Round, Baby, Right Round, which I knew the original song to. He knew the remix, because we are not the same. Yeah, that's not the Pete Burns one, but that's fine. But if somebody could explain to me like how Pete Burns coincides, because I know he made dance music, so how is that in like 80s? I mean, she still looks fabulous and everything. I'm just saying, like, how does dance music play into this particular I don't know. She looks great.
Now, I do want you guys to I guess we can get off the screen now. I do want you guys to understand. This, in my opinion, is the best version of this specific competition.
Yeah.
I do enjoy. I remember enjoying season 4's,
where Dolly is back.
Right.
Yeah.
However, this is also the first season where even the performances, the fakes wasn't a bad performance.
No, not at all.
It just wasn't very cohesive. Usually
they were dressed cohesively, but then they were all sort of on their own part of the stage doing their own dance.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Usually during the performance section of this challenge, at least one team,
oh my god, goes to fucking hell.
Completely collapses mid competitions for some reason.
There's one that even stopped mid competition.
Right. So
we'll get there when we get there.
I'm just saying, at least with this one, they both, at least even the losing team was fine and gave us a good performance. I will also say that this is one of the best songs that is used for these competitions, because there are some really bad ones.
Yeah.
Moving forward, especially when they do that one. That
ska
band. It's like a ska song. It's
don't
so,
even. Which, guys, like.
It's just sonically not fun for our ears.
For people who love like rock, like if why was there no? I mean, I'm sure, first of all, that they want to highlight musicians that feed into drag and Dragula, because that makes sense.
What I want?
They probably also want to do like independent artists that they're supporting, stuff like that. But I actually prefer the Boulet Brothers songs.
Give me Drag Monsters of Doo-Wop. And make them do
something like Temple.
From Twin Temple.
I would love that. Or the one that does Goth Summer.
That is absolutely not doo-wop.
It's not doo-wop, but it's more like a what did we call it when we heard it? It's something. But back to my original thing. Drag Monsters of Doo-Wop. I even want a piano there that somebody has to dance on, like it's a club, old club song. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Someone can pretend.
I want somebody with a big microphone that they're like, sexily caressing while they're yeah, that would be fun.
Same.
I'd get into it.
Yeah.
Come on,
but
girls.
Make them dress up as monsters too. Like, I want monsters. God damn it.
So we're in Vampire Castle, and it is the night of Halloween.
Right.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. But yeah, this
the dumb shit that I just think of.
I know. Well, that's fine. This is absolutely, I think, so far in all the seasons that are out, the best example of the Monsters of Rock.
It is.
Yeah. Now, do I enjoy when things go to hell?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm that person.
She sometimes is, sometimes isn't. I am that person.
No. I don't want the drama and the cattiness in the boudoir because I don't fucking care, y'all. Be adults. Fucking mature. But I do enjoy watching... some of the stumbles and fumbles. Like, I'm sorry, when some of these girls, and I'm not naming names because there are actually quite a few of them, bite the stage because of shoe choices or whatever, and they actually show clips of it. I think it's hilarious.
I feel like one of the problems is none of these ladies have been taught how to fail gracefully. We've talked about it before, where what was it? Not Meatball.
You're talking not necessarily fail gracefully, but improvise.
Right.
Which you have to learn in drama theater because shit always goes wrong.
Yeah. One, things are always going to go wrong, and two, the show must go on. So you got to learn to improvise when stupid shit happens.
Make it look like it was intentional.
And so many ladies trip up, and I feel like they get embarrassed before anything else.
It makes them stop. Yeah, it makes them stop.
And don't stop. Make it a part of your performance.
Don't stop. Get it.
Learn to change the performance on the fly. You fall, cool. Fall a few more times on purpose and make it look like it was a part of the performance.
There is a later episode where somebody gets asked if what they were doing was intentional because it was so bad. And they say no. And Swan and Drac are like, yeah, we thought so. They should have said yes. Because, right. It was thematically, I believe, from what I'm remembering, that it could have worked. It could have worked.
I'd have been like, or you could, again, if you're improvising.
First time, sure.
You can straight up and be like, first time? No, it wasn't. But then I was like, you know what? I like this. Let's go with it.
Or, I don't like this, but fuck it. I gotta.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I do think that a lot of these ladies have had to improvise in the past, but we are in an age of social media, and some of them have said that they haven't ever done a live performance before. And that is different. It's very different. You're not at home. You're not on stable ground. Obviously, every stage is different, so it could be slipperier than you were expecting. You just got to know something's going to go wrong.
Right.
Even Taylor Swift has had to sit in the rain singing without any of the sound system working. So, even the big people have had to deal with crap happening during a stage show. And you just kind of got to grin and bear it. It's just what... a more recent example for anybody who's watching, because there's me. Miley Cyrus, just recently, one of her concerts, she was on stage and got the news that her long-term dog passed away while she was on tour on stage. And she broke down, apologized. You could hear on her mic her say that she wished he had taken her with him. And then she put on her big girl panties and continued the concert because these people in Boston had paid for their tickets and she was there for them.
Right.
And that sucks so badly. But she did it.
Right.
And I will tell you this, her fans understood because all of us, the compassion is there for that. But they were even more respectful of her as an artist and so proud that she continued. That I honestly haven't heard anything about whether the end of her act was good. Because it could have sucked. But the respect that they gave her for continuing with something that big was huge. It's huge.
Right.
So. It was fun. I love this one.
Here, let me say this as well. Next episode, I don't know exactly how things are gonna play out. I gotta watch the next episode as well as the episode after that.
It's a split one.
If I had to guess, we're going to cover both part 1s and 2 at the same time. Because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, and my mind could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure we get, like, the competition and everything, the stage show in the first episode. But there's a lot of them enjoying the festivities for that episode. And then we get the competition, and then the second episode is the elimination challenge that I think most of them are a part of, if I remember correctly.
All of them. All 4. Whereas I remember it
7
differently.
or 8.
I remember that the first episode, they enjoy where they are, and then it's the photo shoot, which is part 1 of their thing. And then part 2 is their stage show, and then the elimination challenge. That's how I remember it.
And
so we'll rewatch.
That could be it, but we typically only cover one set of looks for a challenge. And if that's the case, it's almost always the stage show.
Aside from the fact their look is the same.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
the look that they photo shoot with is the same look that they, because it's the Ladies of the Apocalypse, and they don't change for the stage show. It's just
let it be known, I'm not gonna like most of the looks.
He doesn't like the apocalyptic kind of.
I don't do like Mad Max stuff. Yeah. I don't find it interesting. I'm curious as to why they said they will never do that again though. Like I want to know what happened.
I think it was just a huge hullabaloo.
Probably a logistical nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, you're in the middle of the desert, and
I'm not complaining, but
people are Mad Maxing it around. I mean, I will say that it's one of my favorite Boulet looks.
They probably lost a lot of footage that they weren't allowed to use because of other crazy shit that might have been going on.
Or it was just because it's an outdoor event. I'm sure it was incredibly difficult to film. For. Auditory, like
Dragula?
No, like for you to hear them appropriately, like the acoustics. Fucking my brain. The acoustics were like probably a nightmare to deal with, and then you put an outside stage with people just going nuts. But I would look into that because did they say that?
I'm pretty sure they did. I thought I'd heard that somewhere.
Okay, I want to look into that now because
I could be wrong, but they haven't done it since.
And then we get a surprise appearance. Yeah. The coolest judge. Mm-hmm. We do. We'll get there.
I don't remember. Anyways, that's going to do it, guys. Join us next week as we cover either 1 or 2 episodes. We'll see.
That's okay. I don't remember every other word. That's fine. I remember the shit that doesn't matter, guys. Like, right. Where does this apply? Like, Dragula specifics apply in my day-to-day life, whereas my vocabulary missing, half of my vocabulary missing, affects me. So,
all right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.